All right, so this video, I want to go over pretty much what will allow me to be a good coach for you and to help you get through the worst stages of your anxiety recovery and to guide you through your total recovery of anxiety, because it is possible and you can get there as long as you stick to the course and implement some useful strategies to get there. So a little bit about myself is that I've had anxiety for over 20 years. I'm talking about before there was anything even informational out there about it. There was no YouTube channels, there was no YouTube, there was none of this. I basically didn't even know what was boiling under the surface. I didn't know what was going to come of it, which eventually exploded into health anxiety, physical symptoms, most notably chest pain, chest discomfort, pinching, stabbing pains, dull pains, aches, bruising feelings, all over my chest, left and right side, mostly left side. Tingling, numbness down the arms and the fingertips, especially, all the time. And on top of that, ectopic heartbeats was literally miserable for me. Ectopic heartbeats are like heart palpitations, skipped heartbeats. Ectopics are just pretty much the medical term for them. So if that's something that you're dealing with, I absolutely feel your pain on that. I was missing or having 200 or so ectopic heartbeats a day when the number was quantified. So obviously, if you can imagine, that is miserable. If you've had anxiety and you've had, you felt your heart skip a beat or something like that, imagine that happening hundreds of times in a day. And that's what I was kind of going through at the height of my anxiety disorder. Again, like I said in the last video, I can say that my anxiety is essentially gone now for the most part. There is obviously anxiety over certain situations that is typical and normal. We're human beings. Your anxiety is never going to fully go away. It's just, you can get it back to the point where it kicks back up when it should. In certain instances that do immediately scare you, give you fear, panic, make you jump, when it should kick in, it can kick in. But from now until you get there, there are ways and things to implement to help you along that path. So for me, the main thing that I've been dealing with, which will really be my specialty to help you, is going to be health anxiety and cardiophobia. If you have anxiety about your heart health, if you feel the chest pains, if you're feeling skipped heartbeats, if you're feeling missed heartbeats, your heart is jumping around, you're feeling flutters, you're feeling thuds, you're feeling all those kind of things in your chest, and the doctors have told you that everything is fine. There can be other underlying issues as well, which, again, if you choose to work with me, that I'll go into and help you out with. Again, there's briefly mentioned in the first video, your diet, your sleep, your exercise, what you've been eating, what things add to anxiety, supplements, if you're taking any, if you're not taking any, which supplements can help you, more so regulate hormonal issues and things like that. I just have done so much research about myself when I was in the thick of it. And if we do start talking and we do get into symptoms and things like that, I have no problems, speaking about what I've been through and all the fears that I've had, which I actually made a list on my phone before, just as something in the future that I could look back on. And I think that there actually is a YouTube video that touches on most of them on my YouTube channel. So if you want to check that out, please do. But there was tons of them, and even some of the most irrational fears, like being afraid to actually turn the lights on if I was going into the bathroom, being afraid to even shut the door if I was going into the bathroom, I feel that I was just going to drop in there and nobody's going to be able to get to me. So I can understand what most of, if not all of you, are going through in terms of your anxiety. So if you are looking for somebody to help you that's not going to break the bank, because like I also said in the last video, I will guarantee you that I will be charging a cheaper price than what anybody else is charging. If you're somebody who is very shy, quiet, doesn't like to spend a lot of time talking about your issues, I am going to be offering what's called laser sessions too, which is going to be, as it says, laser focused on just the issues. It's going to be 15 or 20 minutes long, will jump right into the issues, won't keep you on the phone very long, won't, the goal of that is to really try not to trigger any anxiety, just to really get to the heart of the matter, not beat around the bush. Go over what you've been experiencing, go over what you've been feeling, go over what the doctors have told you, go over the steps that you've been taking, and go over all of those other areas as well that can be contributing to the overall anxiety that you have. Whether it's your sleep habits are really disturbed, whether it's your diet is really bad. Speaking from personal experience, my diet was absolutely horrible. Again, we can get into that too, which led to me putting on too much weight, developing sleep apnea, then me losing 55 pounds, and having the sleep apnea pretty much essentially be gone right now. Like I said in the last video, just waiting to get a follow-up sleep test done, and then I'm off whatever machine that I was using that I needed at the time. Also, tinnitus is something else that if you deal with can be extremely debilitating. That I had 24/7. Like, I've heard people talk about this also. Maybe in the future I'll make a video about this as well. But they talk about hearing going out, having the higher pitched do kind of thing in your ears. But I've had that numerous times also. But after 2 seconds or so, your hearing goes back to normal. I'm not talking about that. That is not tinnitus. I'm talking about tinnitus that is of the 24/7 variety, that is a constant ringing, staticky, whooshing. Sometimes you could hear your pulse, your heartbeat in your ear. The 24/7 kind of tinnitus that when you go to the ENT, because I saw numerous ENTs also, that they tell you that it's incurable and you're going to have that for the rest of your life. I could absolutely point you in the right direction in terms of helping with that as well, because that can also be miserable. And that's the last thing that I think has to go for me. And I'm not even sure if it was just anxiety related, if that's probably what put it overboard. But again, there could potentially be a lot of things that go into that as well. And that's kind of what I'm working on getting rid of now. And there has been improvement there. So again, like I said in the last video, if you have any interest, if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me. I will go over the rates with you. I'll go over the time frame with you, and pretty much explain, what I can do for you. So again, feel free, DM me with any questions at all. I'll be glad to help, and I look forward to helping some of you in the future. Again, I'm not going to just take on a, infinite amount of clients. Not that I would get an infinite amount of clients in the beginning anyway, but I want to keep the number small. I want it to be personal. I want to get to know the people that I work with, and then use them as, a jump start via the testimonials and things like that, just to, help them overcome what I've essentially overcome in a relatively short period of time. I know that they say, it could take years and things like that for people to get over anxiety and disorders and things like that. And that's very true, possible. But once you get on the road to recovery, especially for me, I know everybody's different. It did not take multiple years, but it did take multiple months. But again, there's light at the end of the tunnel. So please feel free to DM me with any questions. And I thank you very much. And I look forward to helping anybody out that I can. Thank you so much. Take care.